I should probably be recording before I start talking about the Dev Diary, though. So let me do that now. Say hi YouTube. Say hi to YouTube, everybody. I did, like I was just saying, I did skim this one a little bit. Just reading the headers. There's one thing I'm looking forward to. Hi YouTube. So I'm hoping these are good changes. Hi tube. Tube. Let me hop over here. And let's just hop into it. So this is a patch that's coming out pretty soon, if I understand some of the stuff they're saying on social media, but we'll hop into that in a second. Realm maintenance. Do I have enough water? I should have checked that before I started. Oh well, let's get going. Greetings! This Dev Diary is about the upcoming free update, which we've dubbed 1.15.0 Crown. And I do have enough water for those who are concerned. Similar to the free updates of the past, the Crown update will be pretty big. Has reworked systems, new features, and a myriad of bug fixes and balance changes. That actually reminded me, there's actually two things I saw here while skimming this that I'm really looking forward to, and hopefully the details are good. That's always the concern, is the details, but they're addressing things that I feel need to be addressed. All of the changes that I'll go over stem from the fact that we spend a lot of time updating, tweaking, and bug fixing existing systems and features as part of our parallel development track setup. Depending on the status of an individual track, people from that track are assigned to what we call realm maintenance, where we focus on improving areas of the game that we feel either aren't good enough, or that you and the community are asking us to change. Usually a lot of realm maintenance time happens at the start of a new development track, so there are a few bugs in newly developed content during. Feels like a weird sentence to me, but I'm not gonna police grammar. For example, the concepting or pre-production phases. During realm maintenance, we have improvement days where we add as many smaller improvements and quality of life changes as we can, and some time is also used to polish promising projects from the Black Forge Jam, an internal sort of game jam where we experiment with new CK3 features. The Crown update contains over 4 months worth of realm maintenance, including 200 plus bug fixes. I won't have time to go over everything in detail, so we'll focus on a few highlights. Court position rework. This is one of the things I was already quite excited about, to be honest. Last year, we teased a court position rework, and since then, we've refined it and added even more improvements. In short, the rework aims to make court positions more interesting and engaging, added tools adjusting costs, improving quality of life, and making the UI less of a hassle to use. It's a pain. The intent is for court physicians to be more widely used by giving them the new effects and tasks that allow you to deal with many different situations. Oh. New task? Does that mean everyone's going to have a task? I think everyone's going to have a task. Or a group of tasks. The new layout allows you to see more positions at once, and presents them in a more immersive way. All of the information is still there, of course. Most of what you don't need to see at all times has just moved to the tooltip. What you need to know at a glance is still visible. Do not fulfill the requirements. Unavailable court positions, which has its own tab. Great. At the bottom of the list, we've added a new foldable category that reveals all positions that you could potentially have. It'll exclude anything you cannot possibly get, such as adventurer offices for landed characters and vice versa. The tooltips will tell you what you need in order to get them. Court position automation. Auto-assign highest aptitude candidate or notify with event. Ooh. I've always had a little bit of trouble noticing when my court positions become vacated. And it always feels like so much micro to keep them updated. That would actually be really nice. Now when it's more important than ever to keep certain positions filled, we've added the options of choosing to fill the position automatically. This comes in 3 flavors depending on your preference. An event giving you the option to choose between a few good candidates in your court, auto-assigning the highest aptitude courtier, or auto-assigning with an event notifying you if there is no candidate. This can be toggled per court position, and different positions can have different settings. Hey Viper, good to see you. This is what you wanted? Yeah, this is great. I had no idea. Why is my phone making noise? Excuse me. Who is texting me? Oh, funny. One of my roommates is asking me to do something I already did today. I'll text her back later. Seneschal. Did Seneschal always give bonus legitimacy? That seems new. Wait, did I... Yeah, no, we already did that. Okay. A lot of court positions were never used because it was hard to justify spending gold on their salaries. Aha! So we decided to transfer part of the costs into prestige and lowered salaries across the board. Salary pictured in the screenshot is from the late medieval era, roughly 150 years from 1066. Prestige is a resource most players are more willing to part with, but as there up until now existed very few prestige income sinks. You need to be careful so you don't spend it all. Right. Ah, salary in gold and prestige. I didn't even notice that. All the new tasks have costs, some of them prestige, some gold, and some even cost piety. It's these tasks where the burnt of the cost will come from, but they are naturally opt-in, and you can use them to handle tricky situations, toggling them on-off as you see fit. Most positions now also come with an interesting effect for the holder of the position, such as 20% stewardship experience pictured above. This also means that we've opened up a lot more positions to be held by vassals, which is interesting. Oh, effect on Seneschal gets stewardship experience. This is great for your heirs, too. Yeah, Brunt, I don't know if that's... Am I being stupid? It's these tasks where the brunt of the cost will come from. I just thought this word was spelled differently, I think. Now I'm like gaslighting myself.
Brunt.
Main impact or force says of an attack, the main burden. Yeah, I know this word. Why did this word seem so unusual to me when I read it the first time? Weird. Request court position. You can now request court positions from your liege, allowing you to reap some of the benefits that they convey, such as Royal Architect now reducing your build time build cost, or the Court Poet now reducing your stress gain, general opinion, and diplomacy lifestyle. Okay. Grant court position. You can also grant positions directly via character interaction now, making it easier to, for example, appease angry vassals with ceremonial positions. Neat. So just kind of nice quality of life. Handful of the new tasks. Heal the rumor mill, entertain courtiers, track regular game, organize court, write poetry, keep an ear to the ground, abuse the jester. That's mean. There are way too many new court position tasks for me to go through them in detail, but above is a small sample of what you're going to see. Most court positions now have 3 tasks to choose from, with a few having 1 or 2. These tasks cover a wide variety of things you might want, from wet nurses instilling virtues into your children, to your antiquarian searching for rumors about locations of rare artifacts, to your high almoner promoting the opinion of zealous vassals, among many more things. Many of the things you can now do didn't have any tools before, such as reducing the stress of a character other than yourself, which can be achieved via the entertain courtiers task for the jester. You can also use various positions and tasks to slowly increase your legitimacy, such as the seneschal gives a small passive trickle. Court poet can also give you legitimacy % gain modifiers, such as the write poetry task and the court musician's bolster legitimacy task. Court musician is now available to Duke tier characters and no longer requires royal court to have. Yay! Hey Leo, good to see you. It's worth noting that all tasks that increase stat points, such as exercise with ruler, are balanced in such a way that you cannot gain skills unless the holder of the position is better at the skill than you are. Huh. Interesting. We've also taken this opportunity to move the entire hunt sighting system to these tasks. If you want hunt sightings to improve the success chance of your hunts, you now choose what your master of the hunt should focus on finding. This makes the system less random and gives you more agency. Excellent. There's more that I've not talked about. To see the full extent of changes, refer to the changelog at the end of this diary. Okay. Automating armies. I didn't even catch this while running through. This is huge. This is huge. I've wanted this for late game for a while. Another feature we teased last year was the addition of automated armies, an opt-in feature where the AI takes control of your armies and fights wars for you. The intent behind this feature is to allow you to focus on other things while engaged in trivial wars, and to allow players unfamiliar or uninterested in warfare to enjoy the game more. If you're an experienced player, we still recommend that you control your armies yourself, but give it a spin if you're just cleaning up all those 3 counts bordering your empire. I hope commander skill still matters. I do too. Now, there are 2 crucial parts to this working well: seeing what the AI is thinking and for the AI to play well. There's nothing that differentiates automated armies from how the AI normally plays, so improving one improves the other. Both of these will be covered in 2 sections below. Interesting. Signing commanders limited. I wonder what limited is compared to automated. You can auto raid, which actually sounds really useful. And hiring troops. Hire and extend, only extend. Manual. I'm not sure what this means in particular. Sometimes you have an ally in war and you have no idea what they're thinking. True, correct, accurate. Perhaps they're just standing there moving erratically or being generally unhelpful. True. Quite often this is because of something that you're not aware of. Perhaps they're resupplying their armies, perhaps they're guarding a siege, etc. To make it more transparent what an army is doing, we've added icons with descriptions that explicitly tell you what the AI is up to, like armies in Bannerlord, which I've been playing again recently off stream. Moving to besiege. Perfect. Sounds exactly like Bannerlord. I just bumped the stack of plates again. I need to clean my desk after this. This also applied to your own armies if they're automated, giving you an overview of what they're doing. Okay. Oh, and there's little icons. So sieging, guarding the sieging army. Great. In the above screenshot, the right army is actively besieging while the left one is guarding the siege while standing in a province with enough supply to support it. There are a multitude of different states for the AI to show: moving, attacking, moving to siege, supporting the player, etc. Hopefully this will clear up most uncertainties regarding why they're doing things that might otherwise appear inexplicable. Gow! Gow, gow! Thank you for the redeem, Leo. War for AI fixing and updates. Game has realistic logistics. A little bit. Certainly for the realistic for the era, yeah. We've been working a lot with Warfare AI in an effort to make it better. We're not promising miracles, but we have spent over 2 months of programmer time in an effort to nail down bugs, improve subpar behavior, and change behavior that, while intended, didn't feel right. This includes a lot of cases where the AI would be indecisive, passive, or dance between provinces. They're fixing dancing! Which was often caused by various competing systems trying to avoid attrition, match supply limits to attack sizes, and edge case bugs. These fixes, in combination with the exposed AI logic above, results in a much more clear warfare, where it's easier to understand what the AI is up to. We've also taught the AI about war score, making them pursue what would give them score, rather than arbitrarily choosing actions based on a set of circumstances that were always fixed. For example, when you're fighting a war as a player, you're less likely to pursue battles if you know the siege you're currently about to finish would win you the war. You're also less likely to pursue battles if you're already capped on battle war score. Usually, war score for battles is capped at 50% for most CBs. They're now also more likely to siege using stacks with siege weapons, and will try to shuffle their siege stacks around in a way that their ongoing sieges aren't broken. Oh no, they're making the AI better. Scary. Now there's going to be edge cases where unwanted behavior still happens, and we'll keep fixing bugs as we find them. Hopefully you won't notice as much strange AI behavior anymore. An area of the game where the normal war AI does not perform well is during Crusades. A, no shit. B, thank you for noticing. C, holy shit, are they actually gonna fix Crusades? So we decided to take a suggestion from those communities and give these great holy wars some special treatment. The one-size-fits-all philosophy out the window. Now the AI has a set of special procedures they follow during these grand-scale wars in particular. Firstly, a set of smaller tweaks. The AI cares less about attrition and supply until they've made some headway. And then they will try to boat hop less often, take short sea paths. When you're going from well-supplied Europe by boat, disembarking into low-supplied dry lands with an army of potentially hundreds of thousands of men, there's no way you can find enough supply for all of them. The AI now knows this, and when they start assaulting the war target, they will temporarily ignore attrition until they've gotten enough of a beachhead that they can support the size of their units. This makes the initial phase for Crusade more likely to succeed, as the attacking AI won't desperately shuffle their troops around to find supply. Oh, is that the problem? By boat hopping less, these will prefer land routes to their targets, avoiding the -30 advantage penalty. That I've noticed. Napoleon trying to invade Syria be like, for real, for real. Now for the meat of the changes. The attackers in a Great Holy War will first find a gathering area and move their armies to a staging area. Gathering in Roma. For the first stage... Oh, wait, that's smart. For the first stage of a Great Holy War, the attacking AO will find a good supply area where they can gather their forces. As stacks of units are raised across a large part of the world, they'll need some time to gather, and should do so in a safe place. In this example, we have a crusade against Jerusalem. So Roma with its surrounding counties is deemed safe and close enough to the target to be designated the gathering area. You will see an icon on allied AI units with a text that says where they intend to gather, so you can follow them there. They'll gather for several months before setting off on the next step of the journey, the staging area. Staging in Issus. Staging area is the closest friendly or neutral area to the war target. In this example, it's in Byzantium. The attacking forces will make their way there before starting their assault, which means they will arrive as a much more unified force. This also means they won't immediately attack from the water. Huge. Massive. Incredible. That's around 100 kilometers from here. Avoiding disembarkment penalties and ensuring that their stacks have an acceptable degree of supply. Instead, they'll most likely march via land, taking a modicum of attrition along the way, but ultimately mustering a more successful assault. Now, the testing that we've done reveals that the attackers are usually more successful, but can still lose. Good. Crusades shouldn't win every time, all the time. That's just the opposite problem to how it is now. Though now when they lose, it's less because they frustratingly trickle in across several years with disembarkment penalties and no supply, and more because the defenders have a homeland advantage, as it should be. The character interaction menu has also received a facelift, with the intent of cleaning up and making interactions more intuitive. I don't have a lot to add about Crusades that I didn't already say while reading it. This is really exciting. To see Great Holy Wars hopefully actually have efficacy and hopefully have a little bit more organization. The character interaction menu has received a facelift with the intent of cleaning up and making the interactions more intuitive. Let's see. Interesting. Is this chances, maybe? Murder, challenge status, fellow governor, slander. Several categories have been removed and merged into other categories to keep the overall number down. Good. We've added colors to these categories so it's easier to glance the one that you need. Oh. Oh, these are colored, yeah. You can now more easily see if a scheme is personal, hostile, or political, with a predicted scheme difficulty shown next to it, making it easier to see what you could be pursuing without having to delve into such interaction. Okay, so personal schemes, hostile schemes, political schemes. Political scheme with a neutral chance, low chance, neutral. I think I'm understanding that right. Favorite button. Raid estate. As we move several interactions to no longer be common and only shown in the sub-menu, we've added a way for you to select favorite interactions. Favorite interactions will be shown in their own category at the top of the interaction menu, allowing you to see what you think is important first. Favorites. Murder. Raid estate. Never change, Paradox gamers. Whenever it makes sense, we've now added a quick interaction button that contains a collection of relevant interactions for that context. These buttons have been added in various places, such as for your head of faith, on your administrative liege, or on an administrative governors in the theme view. If you're a modder, you can easily make more custom contexts. That was a particularly difficult paragraph for me to read through. Head of Faith custom interaction category. Seek indulgences, ask for gold, ask for clerical influence. Right-click to raise armies. You can now right-click to raise your armies in a specific area, so you no longer have to move a rally point there first. This is going to save so much time. This simplifies the act of raising armies and prevents the mistake where you can accidentally raise your armies on the wrong side of your empire, just because you moved your rally point there during your last war. It's not impossible that we'll remove and replace the rally point system entirely in the future. Armies will be raised at the closest rally point. Rally point closest to your capital. Oh. Oh, men-at-arms, special soldiers, mercenaries, and holy orders will be raised at the rally point closest to your realm capital. Interesting. Administrative government additions. The Eparch. Going hand in hand with the court position rework, a new court position has been added for independent rulers of administrative realms. The Eparch. The Eparch focuses on improving your capital in various ways. The tasks are expensive, but the results are significant. Being the Eparch is also very attractive for vassals, as they get a significant influence boost. So they can appease the populace, which gives popular opinion. They can support troops, which makes men-at-arms better. Enforce public order. Control growth. These are really huge bonuses, by the way. And encourage development. Oh. Plus 0.3. Huge. Going hand in hand with the Eparch is the Capital Magistry building, which improves the aptitude of the Eparch among other things. It can be only built in the capital of an administrative realm. Taxes, holding taxes percentage, monthly prestige per court position, monthly domicile influence, improves aptitude of the Eparch. Now everything will be easier for administrative realms. We also thought that it was too easy for them to hold onto their lands, even when engaged in civil wars or otherwise weakened. So we've added a new CB that can only be used on administrative realms. Seize Peripheral Duchy, that allows you to take any duchy that's outside the empire's de jure for a very low prestige cost. The CB has 3 times the siege and battle war score for the attacker, and significantly faster ticking war score, making it the perfect way to reclaim lands from an otherwise preoccupied empire. Fun! This is probably not going to hurt Biz that much because I rarely see them expand. Well, actually, I was going to say I rarely see them expand outside their de jure much. Except in the steppes. Alongside this, we've also reworked the Order Mass Arrest decision to be a character interaction. You can now use this on all noble families, not just powerful families, as long as their estate is located in the capital. We've also tweaked the option for when you restore the Roman Empire, such as offering a path to become Hellenic without activating Roman hard mode. Ooh. As well as making said mode more enjoyable by tweaking event frequencies and removing parts of it that made little sense, such as increased diseases, which, yeah, doesn't make sense. The clan government is one that's both fairly underplayed according to telemetry, and that the AI struggles in playing as well, often underperforming significantly. This prompted us to take a look into something to make them more interesting and less frustrating to play. When managing tax jurisdictions, it's a constant battle to find competent tax collectors, correct? All you have at your disposal are your unlanded courtiers and a decision with a fairly long cooldown. which leads to a frustrating time as you often end up in a combination of not having anyone to assign, and if you do have someone, they're more often than not terrible. The various tax decrees have also felt underwhelming, with the vast majority of players simply opting for the zakat, as it increased your tax income. All of this has prompted a host of changes in the future. Okay. Updated UI. This is nice. There's some good clarity added here. I don't see anything else that stands out to me yet. Interesting you have Zakat in Christianity. Clan governments tend to heavily lean towards Islamic nations, although not exclusively. Like, for example, I ended up one campaign off stream playing a Christian Arabic ruler clan government in Iberia. But that was because I started as a vassal of the Sultanate, of the Sultanate of Al-Andalus. Alongside a general facelift of the UI, we've opened up the possibilities for vassals to be tax collectors. This makes it significantly easier to find tax collectors and find good ones. Similarly to how we handle court positions, landed tax collectors get a penalty to their aptitude, but on average it's much easier to find good tax collectors because of this change. I thought this was about being the Crusader and not the other way around, but I guess this is also interesting. So this game, for those in chat or who are watching this on YouTube for whatever reason who aren't familiar, this game is primarily about playing as a medieval dynasty in Europe and the surrounding regions. So you can be North and West African, you can be Muslim, you can be play in India, play on the steppes. It's not just Christianity. You can also be pagan. Alongside the general... oops, I lost my place. Clan rulers now also don't have to worry about being allied to all their vassals, as only powerful vassals will expect to be allied to their liege. This was the biggest problem with clan governments, for those who haven't played it. Clan governments expect an alliance with their liege, and, like, sure, you have polyamory to help, or polygamy to help with that, but you can only have so many children, and every vassal you ally is going to be one less foreign ruler that you're allied. So this is huge, actually, because you always end up with a lot of pissed off vassals. This makes you able to focus on pleasing a select few characters in the realm without having to suffer a permanent 20% opinion with every vassal. You also no longer gain a legitimacy penalty for marrying lowborn characters as secondary wives. Awesome. And to preempt exploits, we've also made it so that switching to a lowborn spouse as your primary spouse triggers the lowborn marriage penalties. Great. This means that as long as your main spouse is highborn, the remaining ones can be lowborn. The AI has been updated to always try to get the spouse with the best stats as their primary one, and as long as that doesn't trigger the lowborn spouse marriage penalties. Did YouTube stop playing my music? Thank you. African kingdoms can be really OP. They do struggle with feudalizing a lot of the time in certain start dates, but you can get a lot of gold down there. All tax decrees have been updated to be more interesting and modern effects. To have more interesting and modern effects. What do you mean by modern? Including systems that have been added since tax decrees are added, like legitimacy, danger, and plague resistance. Great. And enabling systems that are logically connected to the decree, like raiding for Ghazi. Raiding. Raiding as clan governments. That's awesome. These changes match the clan's realm's more volatile nature, providing bonuses that are more relevant and interesting to choose between. They should now be more closely be able to match the power that feudal realms can muster with their vassal contracts. You're back, all good. Enjoy. All commander traits are now tiered traits that can be leveled up by taking actions related to the trait. One second, I need to drink water. Excuse me. I should edit that. I should edit that out for the YouTube, but if you see this on YouTube, I failed. And by the failed, I mean forgot. Commander traits now start out less impactful, with events weaker than they currently are. Through war, battles, and siege, you can now level them up, potentially reaching heights that were not previously possible. A fully leveled military engineer reduces siege phase times by 40%. A fully leveled flexible leader reduces enemy defensive bonuses by 80%, and so on. To level the traits, you need to do whatever makes sense. To level up aggressive attacker, you win offensive battles. To level up military engineer, you complete sieges, and so on. The higher the commander's martial skill, the faster they will level up their traits. This also means that a commander with a high-level commander trait can be extremely valuable, as replacing their accumulated knowledge of warfare is not a trivial task. The barbershop has been updated with several new categories, and items have been reshuffled to allow for greater degree of customization. Many items previously not accessible have been added, such as some Byzantine and Jane clothing, and you are now allowed to freely change eye items, face items, crests, veils, and special crowns. I love his flower crown. The reliquary crown of Charlemagne. Oh no, with the flower crown over it. Excellent. We've made extra care to address pain points such as not being able to remove glasses or veils, while simultaneously allowing you to create a combination you weren't able to before. More customization is better customization, I agree. Use responsibly. Excellent. The fact that they're allowing you to do this but recognize how ridiculous it is really funny to me. This is a look though. My god. AI promote culture tweaks. Late-game culture maps are often quite boring, with the culture map gradually becoming more and more populated by small divergences. This is fine in the case where these divergences lead to interesting new cultures expanding their presence on the map, but often it's not so. We've tweaked the AI to be more inclined to promote their cultures under certain circumstances. Central Germanic heritage cultures within the HRE will now want to promote culture in Sorbian culture countries. Very small cultures will want to grow if they are below 10 counties. Imperious cultures, cultures with a powerful culture head realm of 30 plus counties and king or more tier, will want to grow to a decent size. 35 counties, about the size of French at 1066. Smaller, divergent hybrid cultures with no existing culture head are more likely to be promoted by other cultures, with the intent of reducing the amount of small and orphan cultures by the end of the game. This makes the culture map more dynamic and exciting, with interesting results every game. Saxons slowly being promoted in Polabian lands. We've added several new options to the Realm Stability game rule based on community feedback, and a few extra for good measure. You can now set stability to only affect AIs, And there's an optional setting that avoids changing the frequency of peasant and populous factions, as those could become too infrequent or infrequent, depending on your setting. Realm stability. Amount of factions will rise. A higher amount of factions will rise. Oh, these are all the same. I misunderstood what this graphic was. Okay. For those that enjoy the occasional Scourge of the Gods Conqueror, but think that 5% is too much, we've added an additional rule, low random, with a 0.5% chance of it happening. I don't know how I feel about how frequent Conquerors are right now. Oh, Conquerors gain the Conqueror trait and have a 0.5% chance of gaining Scourge of the Gods. Okay. Misunderstood. Not 0.5% chance of anyone becoming a Conqueror. Yeah, Scourge of the Gods is maybe a little too easy for the AI to get. I'm not sure. New message setting options. The message setting window now has a history log of all feed messages, so you can browse through them at a later time. Good. We've also added 2 community-requested message settings, scheme advantages and non-dynastic courtiers coming of age. There are now a new indicator text and filter options for finding children without guardians in your court. This is present both in the right-hand side court window and the character view. Available for education. No guardian. Excellent. New major decisions. I think we need to, we might need to snooze ads, but let's just keep going, moving ahead here. 2 major decisions have made their way into this update, both focusing on forming new empires. Beth Narain for rulers of Syriac heritage, and the Empire of Hindustan. Would it be possible to unite the kingdoms surrounding the rivers of Tigris and Euphrates under one banner? An empire so vast that the kings and queens of yore would be envious. Empire of Beth Narain, sovereign of the 2 rivers. If you're already Nestorian, get the option of Holy Monarch. My steward's ability to promote culture becomes more effective in counties where ebb and flow exists. Your dynasty gains renown. Every county within Beth Narain without Syriac culture gains ebb and flow. Oh, more easy to promote to Syriac culture, I see. Possible outcomes, you can focus on learning, martial, or choose to convert to Nestorian. When adding new decisions for creating new empire titles and Crusader Kings, there are 2 different things we look for. One could be an interesting alternative history for a historical group or region like Beth Narain. Another is to look for what great empires existed during the timeline, but which currently cannot be formed in this time, in this game. I'm going to hit snooze on this here. While Islam arrived in the lands of Hind hundreds of years ago, the subcontinent has been dominated by native dynasties. Let us lay the foundation of a new imperial legacy, an Islamic state rooted in the Great Plains of northern India. You get Satrapy of Kuru, the Marspanate of Delhi, and the Empire of Hindustan. Hindustan becomes your primary title. Any owned kingdoms in Rajasthan, Bengal, or the Deccan Empire will become de jure Hindustan. Gain administrative government, and gain lawgiver. Every feudal or clan vassal within your de jure realm and of your faith may change their government to administrative if they fulfill one of the following. They're powerful, have 25 or more opinion, and additionally, any vassals that have positive opinion have a chance to adopt admin, gain a lot of legitimacy. Okay. The Islamic conquest of India is not something that happens in every game, but when it happens, we rarely ever get something like the actual Delhi Sultanate. The new decision lets a Muslim ruler who controls a fair chunk of the north move his capital to Delhi or Lahore, while creating a new empire title that incorporates any held line in the 3 Indian empires. If you have roads to power, it will also give you the administrative government, though one with a hereditary succession instead of acclamation. Ooh. Commanded by Ruler Banner, you can now see if the enemy war leader is in an army, as they'll be marked with a crown banner stating Commanded by Ruler. Right here, perfect. That's it for this dev diary. The 1.15.0 crown update will soon be in your hands, and we hope that it'll be to your liking. You can find the full changelog below. Cheers for now. Perfect. Let's see. I think the new empires are neat. This is useful. I don't usually micromanage my court this much, but this is useful for people who do. Same here. This is amazing. I often feel like I'm missing messages. More options is always good. More interesting cultural play. We'll see how it actually works out. Play through it. More options is always good when it comes to the barbershop. Tiered commander traits is interesting and dynamic. I think that'll be really fun to play with in the future. Clans rework is desperately needed. I may have to play as a clan government once this comes out. I also want to play more in admin. I haven't done enough of that yet. Right-click to raise armies just seems like a good quality of life. This all seems like great quality of life stuff. The warfare update I really hope is good and efficable. Whatever I'm trying to say. I'm hoping it's good and works well. Automated armies, I'm hoping it's good and works well. I'm excited about it. Core position rework seems exciting. Yeah, that's it. So, those of you who are watching on Twitch, we're gonna run an ad and then we'll switch over to just chatting for a bit. Those of you on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe. If you got this far, why aren't you subscribed yet? I feel like such a douche saying all this crap, but apparently it's important or whatever. Just do it. And I will see you next time. Bye.